Hi, welcome to our new channel Hard Reset Rankings, and today in today's episode I'm gonna tell you about the newest Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge and why it has disappointed me. And there are quite a few reasons for it, but first let's begin with the name, because the history of the name Edge in Samsung's phones doesn't align with the current S25 Edge. In the past, there were Samsung's named Edge, and I do remember how they used to have a curved edge on the sides, on the vertical sides, and this was the reason why it was called Edge. But now, this phone has a fully flat display, and it is sitting right here. You can see it, that it just has a flat display, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they name it that? But it's not the most important about this phone, is it? And first, let's talk about the battery, because I know it's a high concern about Samsung S25 Edge. So in this phone, this is just 3900 milliamp hour battery, which is quite low compared to other phones on the market that are typically, I guess, 5000. But also let's compare it to Samsung, because we don't want to really compare it to someone else, because it's always different that way. So the Samsung S25, which is smaller, I'm gonna mention that later. The Samsung S25, the standard version, has 100 milliamp hours more, and the S25 Plus, which is the same exact screen size, of course not the thickness, it's the same exact screen size. It's just it has more 1000. Yeah, it's 1000 milliamp hour more, and that's way more actually, and changes lots of things about your phone, right? Because you probably don't want to use it for just a few hours. You probably want it to last all day, and I think it should last all day anyway, but you're compromising even several hours with this thin device. Now let's talk about the price, and this phone is priced at astonishing $1,100 in the base version, which is 256 gigabytes of internal storage, and compared with the same storage version, because S25, the standard S25, has also the lower version of 128, but compared with 256, it's actually on the S25 it's just 650, and the base model is about 550. So the phone is almost twice as expensive. The Edge version is almost twice as expensive as the standard version, and comparing to the S25 Plus, because it has the same display size, so the S25 Plus is currently priced at around less than $800, so it's still way less than this phone right here, which is pretty disappointing, let's say that. Another thing that I have noticed, of course not everyone will notice this, but I have, is the inconsistent design, which means, for example, the camera bump, which has a different corner radius, because there are rounded corners on the phone, and you can see it right here that it has a different corner radius than the the camera bump has a different one than the border of the phone. And some probably won't care about that, but for something that you pay $1,100 for, I'd like it to look good, and in my personal opinion, it does not. Then some other things, like when you look at the size of the phone or at the bottom of the phone, you'll notice that the USB-C charging port is actually looks like it's mislocated. I mean, there's a higher distance between the USB-C port and the front of the phone than between this port and the back of the phone, which looks like it's not centered. And the same goes for everything else, like the SIM card tray, the speakers, the buttons, and everything else, besides like the microphone at the top, these two holes. Although it does not really matter. And I've of course know why that happens. It's because of the display. The display takes quite a lot of space in the phone. But still, I wouldn't choose this phone since it has just an inconsistent design, and that's something I pretty much care about. I know that not everyone likes, so that's the right time to move on to another thing about this phone. So this phone is the same specs as the S25 or S25 Plus, and there's nothing else besides, the screen size compared to S25, because the screen size is actually closer to S25 Plus. It's actually the same, but maybe there is a difference in the corner radius, though the whole display size doesn't really have any differences compared to the S25 Plus, and also the cameras. The cameras on this phone are actually different than on the S25 or S25 Plus, but it's also, I personally don't like the Samsung cameras. They make the colors look fake, and I know that here it's 200 megapixels. I mean, not milli. It's the megapixels, yeah. 200 megapixels compared to 50 on the base models. But who cares about that, I mean, I know that there are people that care about that, and there are manufacturers that really care about that and really advertise it as a very big feature, but it's not that big of a feature. You'll still picture your photos at 12 megapixels to save the storage, first of all, and second of all, it's still a phone, and whether it's 50 or 200, maybe I'm gonna make an episode about this somewhere in the future, about the megapixels in the phone, myths and facts about it, but I just don't think that it makes a lot of difference, especially that I have compared this phone's camera to my personal iPhone 13, which is 3 generations old and the base model, and didn't cost $1,100. So overall on this phone is just a great camera, and that's it. I don't see anything else about this phone that seems better. Of course, the camera is still, I don't like the colors, as I said. I think it makes it too unnatural, but some will like it, I guess. Also, I think that Samsung just has a different aesthetic than the iPhone. The iPhone is sort of professional aesthetic, whereas the Samsung is more pointed towards the casual aesthetic, fun aesthetic and stuff. But let's not talk about that. It's just that this phone, I don't like it, and I don't think that anyone needed a thinner phone. We needed a bigger battery. We needed a greater, cheaper, and more long-lasting phone, not something that's thinner. And that's my conclusion. And let me know, what do you think about this phone? Let me know about it in the comments, of course, down below. And consider liking or subscribing so we can deliver content like this in the future about some new phones or some older ones, budget ones, or some more expensive ones for those that want to buy something or already have it and want to learn something new about it. Bye!